Blog Talk Radio.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Assassinator! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! A damn shot straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! You can stop the straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! 5-star broad splat! You can't stop me! 5-star broad splat! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the yin and the yang! The balance of power that's in! You can't stop the yin and the yang! The balance of power that's in! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! I will levitate! Flip, kick you in the yam! I will decimate! You can prepare for! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! 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 Drop it down! The whole fucking show!
Happy January 21st, 2009, everybody. There has never been a January 21st, 2009 before, so it is what we make of it. Let's make the most of it. I looked down for just 1 second to stick a filter in the end of a doobie, and I looked up, and all the switchboard is lit up with callers. Holy cow. One of them was Sonia. There she is again. I was going to say she must be getting close to the house because we don't have good cell range. Living up on the hill where we do.
Hello?
SVD, where you at, baby?
Hey, I'm in a horrible cell range. You're coming in and out.
Does that mean you're close to the hizzy?
Yes, I'm getting close. I'm on the hill, that's for sure.
All right. Well, we're just starting the show, so you know how long-winded I am. I'll probably still be monologuing when you get here.
I hope you're monologuing.
I love you, baby. See you in a minute. See you in a minute. We do not have good cell range. Anybody that knows me well enough to have been to the Casa de Van Dams knows this, because they can never get cell reception up on the hill where our house is, so they have to use our landline. Awesome. As you may have guessed, Sonia's not with me at the moment. She's a little bit late. She's on her way. She loves the show. She has so much fun doing it, so I look forward to her getting here and keeping an eye on the chat room, because that's usually where she has a lot of fun while I'm doing this. And while I'm doing this, of course, is talking to you people. Really enjoyed doing the show, too, actually. This is like episode number 16. Can you believe that? We started out with 1-hour shows, That kicked ass. It wasn't enough time. We went to 2 hours. And, of course, every week, towards the end of the show, I see in the chat room, this show needs to be 3 hours long, man. It's a lot of fun. And, you know what it's about for me? People ask me how the show's doing, all the time. What's that mean? It's a lot of fun. I don't even pay that much attention to the numbers. In fact, I've only looked once. That was shortly after the first time that I did it, and afterwards I kind of just do it. It's like an outlet for me. I like to provoke thought. I like to think about stuff, and of course anyone who's listened to any of these shows knows that. Tonight I want to talk about, hey, Sonya got back in. You guys know the rules. When Sonya's on, we go straight to her, and nothing else matters. She's priority. Hey, baby, are you back with us?
I'm back with you. You're so funny.
I thought you were almost home.
Well, no, I'm on the hill. On the hill is almost home.
All right. Well, do you want me to talk to you? Or do you want to stay on while I'm talking while I'm monologuing, while I'm opening the show? What's up?
No, I called just to listen to monologue.
All right, baby.
I still wanted to be part of the show, but I'm listening, and I'm here if you need to refer to me.
Awesome, and hopefully you'll be here beside me in a couple of minutes. It's not that big of a hill, but it is 6 o'clock. We live in Los Angeles, and if anybody has been out to L.A. during peak traffic time, it is a challenge. That can be a lot of fun, too. I love to be on the 101. To go from where we live in the South Bay to get up to the valley, at least Van Nuys and the west side of the valley, we have two different options, straight up the 405 all the way, or we can take the 110, which is the Harbor Freeway, to the 101, which kind of makes like a diamond and then gets back up to the 405. According to my GPS, there's only 1 mile difference. So I always like to take the 110 up, go through downtown L.A., and then take the 101 up. I don't mind being stuck in traffic on the 101 because I'm such a mark for Hollywood. I'm looking at the Capitol Records building. I'm looking at the big Scientology museum, and I'm looking, at Beechwood Canyon, of course, up at the Hollywood sign. I love it. I love it. Rather be stuck in traffic in L.A. than any other city, which is probably obvious to you. Right? You too, baby?
No, I know that's true about you. You've said that so many times. You love L.A. more than any person I've ever known.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I have this spiritual connection with it that's growing all the time. And, just like any positive relationship, when you watch it grow, you want to put energy into it. So, as you can imagine, I'm not real happy about leaving home, which has been the case ever since I got home off the road from WWE. Everything I do in my normal routine throughout the day is right here at my house. So when I get stuck, I have to live on the road, stuck doing something away from home, which is work. I don't want people at my house, fuck that. I got to come to you, right? But when it comes to packing up the suitcase, living out of the hotels, I still stress about it. Don't know if I'll ever recover. I got a trip coming up, and I'm kind of like, okay, I gotta get ready. And pretty soon I'm gonna start counting the hours. The good thing, I'm not going to wrestle. I'm not gonna be stuck with living with a bunch of assholes that I wouldn't, share a ride with in the car if there was a skateboard that was available. And some of the guys are good, some of them aren't, but you have no choice. But this thing that I'm leaving for, way different, an opportunity of a lifetime. In case you don't know, I'll be starring in an upcoming action movie, Wrong Side of Town. I'm going to kick ass, guys, because I'm not an actor. I don't expect you're going to ever hear me brag about my acting abilities. However, I am going to give this everything I got, and I am a real-life action hero. So there you go. Should be a perfect match. Today's topics, everybody, that I want to talk about to you, power and greed. Power and greed. Let's look at those. Let's look at the word power, and let's pull it apart and dissect it. What does power mean? I did not look it up on the dictionary, like probably would have been a good idea, so I'm going to do that right here because with my big RVD radio budget, I'm on the keyboard here. Power, the ability to do something or act in a particular way as a faculty or quality. What the fuck? Okay, number 2, the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others. Ooh, I like that one. Here's what power means to me. Power is something that other people want, and then you have power over them. That's what power is to me. And, of course, I'm going to go into that to explain that a little bit further. Somebody has power over you. There's a good chance, depending on the circumstance, that you give them that power over you, which means, of course, you could take that power away. If somebody has something and they're in a position, like, okay, President Obama, by the way, congratulations, big inauguration yesterday. We have a new President of the United States, Obama. And I love it because now all the conservatives are so worried, and now they're all sending all the chain mails and saying, oh, you wait, this guy's a terrorist, you're going to see. Hey, guys, you lost, pack it up, and leave. And that's all about the fact that over the last 8 years, they've been convincing the people that we're the good guys and that everyone else in the world are the bad guys, right? Obama's in. We got presidents and leaders from other countries calling saying, Hey, Obama, man, good job getting rid of that asshole Bush, huh? Fuck, he sucked. Yeah, I know, man. That's how it is. Obama's cool, and we won. We won. I voted for Obama. I'm behind him. I'm behind the change. And they had some evil conservative plans, this whole New World Order, which I've discussed here, that's been in effect for so long. And I'm not saying that Obama necessarily is not on board with the New World Order. That remains to be seen. I have some suspicions. However, getting away from Bush and Cheney and everything that they had their evil little hands into that was fucking up the country and making them richer, go on, move. Go on. They didn't want it to happen. They wanted McCain to go in so they could continue their same shit, continue to get richer. Now they're pissed, and the people are very confused. It's time to re-educate the people. So Obama's got the power now, and everyone looks up to him. Can you imagine the power that Obama has? Not only because he's a world leader, not only because he can legalize marijuana, he can stop arresting marijuana patients. He has the power with laws, with influence. He has the power over women. You know how many women would fuck that guy just because he's a man of power, because he's the president, and that turns them on? Power. Speaking of which, the power of the pussy, and don't think I wouldn't be talking like this. Sonya wasn't here either. But the power of the pussy is the strongest power on the planet. What would we not do for that? It's amazing because we want it, and it has this power over us. It's amazing. Now, here's an example of somebody having what I will call voluntary power over you, okay? You want something that they have, they have the ability to get you a job, so you kiss ass and you suck up to them and you look up to them as a man of power or a person of power because you want to get on the good side, you want a favor from them. You can take that away. Take somebody who has a car, a muscle sports car, and they have so much pride in that. It's so fucking loud. Really loud, and they're so proud of it, and their head is in the clouds, their nose is up, they're like, fuck yeah, I'm a king, I've got so much power, everybody wants this. Well, guess what? I don't fucking want that. I think it's obnoxious, and I don't know anything about cars. I can't tell you the difference between a Ford and a Toyota, honestly, and a Honda, whatever. I don't know. I have to look at the name of it on the back, or I'm completely clueless. To me, they have no power over me. Just like fashion, I don't care if the fashion king walks into my house and the fashion king is used to a red carpet being rolled out. I could show up, and if they don't like the way that my socks don't match my shorts, I don't give a fuck because I don't understand the value in that. That's not the way that my mind works. Thus, they have no power over me. Got a bunch of guests tonight. We're going to have a kick-ass show. I've had this good feeling all day that tonight is just going to be an awesome show. I added greed, particularly and specifically for Officer X. He wanted to talk about greed. And I'm going to be honest with you on this one. I'm going to need your help to define greed. I'm not exactly sure what greed is because I am a dream chaser. I'm also a self-proclaimed indulger of life. As I said, everything that I need throughout my day is right here in my house. You know what I mean? I have my own gym. I have a sauna. I have a pool. I have a tanning bed. I have everything I need right here, and I have a big house. Now, many of you are going to say, well, there's a certain point. Okay, what if my house was huge? What if I had a 20,000 square foot castle? Would you then call me greedy? I believe a lot of you would. I don't see that. This is a capitalist society, but on a moral perspective, what the fuck's wrong with going after your dreams, obtaining what you can? I want to live in a castle. That is one of my dreams. Somebody that has a big castle up in Beechwood Canyon under the Hollywood sign has power over me, because I would probably be happy to go and vacuum their carpets and go, oh my God, this is so sweet. You guys remember that movie, Disney movie, Escape to Witch Mountain and Return to Witch Mountain? Betty Davis lived in this castle up there, and when I drove by it, I fell in love with it. It's called Wolf's Lair. Very historic place. Anyway, it put it in my mind, you know what, someday I want to buy a fucking castle. Does that make me greedy? What is greed? I need you people to call in and tell me, because I understand selfish. I understand somebody that cares so much about their own needs that they don't care for other people, that they don't mind stepping on other people, they don't mind passing by people that need help just so that they can better themselves. I understand selfish, but greed? Is greed just about obtaining too much for yourself? Because I don't get it. What if I had 10 houses, all 20,000 square feet, and I rotated, spent one day at every house? You guys might call me greedy. But fuck, if I won the lottery and I had $200 million, wouldn't that be something that, if it was important to me, if that was something that I wanted, I should go and do? You know? I don't know. How about a person that wants to have a lot of sexual partners? Are they greedy? I would think from the biblical stance, I would think a lot of Christians would say, yes, that's greed. You should only go for the one, keep it, whatever. Isn't it more about personal desires and what you can do to make life the most that you possibly can? As you know, we recently came through, Sonia, just getting over cancer. When something like that happens, you definitely turn your perspective towards making the most out of every day. It doesn't seem quite so fun just sitting around watching TV if, in fact, you'd rather be rock climbing, and you kind of change your perspective to go out there and celebrate being alive and grab the day. Where does greed come in? When do you cross the line, and when are you greedy? When you go and you obtain things that you really want, when you chase your dreams, and when you make it a reality, and you're more successful than people, is it fair for them to call you greedy? I want to talk about that. And I want to talk about power. So I'm going to go right to the phone lines because I got a lot of calls tonight, and I had a feeling that would be the situation. And one of them is my brother from another mother, and he brought his mother, too. I want to say hi to Sabu's mom. She might even be on the line with him. What up, Sabu?
What's up, brother?
Hey, is your mom with you? Or is she listening?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad that you're listening tonight. I hope you're doing well. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
He hopes you're doing well.
Oh, I'm fine.
Awesome. Well, we're fine, too. Sorry about the rough language and the talk about the sexual partners and stuff. Sabu wanted me to say that.
I did not.
Awesome. Sabu, what do you think about tonight's topics, power and greed?
That's pretty deep.
I know, man. That's what I'm all about. I like to pull us apart. This is something we couldn't talk about in a WWE promo. You know what I mean? The character that says cool and whatever would never even think about this stuff. But I like to think about it, and I want to know what other people think about it, too. Don't you think that power is a good thing? Like it's something to strive for. You want to be in a powerful position because doesn't power equal success?
Not necessarily. Success is within.
Ooh, that's pretty deep, too. Success is within. I believe also power could be from within, too, I think, because there's a lot of confidence in knowing that you've got the power over people without even acting upon it. For instance, I feel comfortable walking down the sidewalk knowing that in my heart of hearts, I know that I would be in a pretty safe situation if I was attacked physically by 99% of the people that I'm going to walk by. I have that power. However, they might not know I have that power. Maybe they know it, maybe they don't, by looking at me. If they didn't look at me, if I didn't have size and I could just fight, whatever, that's like a power within that you know of, and you learn to carry yourself, respect yourself, and that's what's called discipline when you don't show it. To me, that's like a power within. What do you think of that?
I agree.
Okay, cool. Now, help me out a little bit, Sabu. What's greed? I mean, greed is a bad thing. I know it's one of those 7 deadliest sins. But if we're not talking about someone being selfish at the expense of others, then where is the line drawn? And how can anybody be the judge to say that's greedy for you to do that for yourself?
Listen to me. Greed is something you want what you already have. Greed.
Okay.
You want to have it.
Okay. For instance, let's say I'm a what do they call them? Mormons, the people the men that get a bunch of wives. If I already have a wife, but obviously I'm still very attracted to women, and I want to have more wives. Is it fair for us to say that's greedy just because it's not accepted in our society or our religions? And in fact, just because it is accepted with them, why does it have to belong to a group in order for us to open up and say, well, it's okay for them? Why, as an individual, can't everybody make their own choices?
What, you want my wife too?
You got a very beautiful, wonderful wife. Anybody would be lucky to have her. I'm going to go to the phones and get some other opinions and see what other people think about this, too. Ooh, we got some new names in here that we haven't talked to. Hi, baby. SVD has walked in. Say hi to Sabu, baby.
Hey, Sabu.
And his mom.
Hey, Mom.
Are you still with us, Sabu?
Hi, Tanya.
Sonia.
Hi,
Hey,
Tanya.
how you doing? You feeling
Hi.
better?
How about you?
I'm doing great.
Well, that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, she is doing great. Appreciate you asking. Sabu, your brother's on the line. So would you put him through?
If you want to, yes.
With Sabu's permission, we're going to Bombay, Michigan, to talk to John. What's up, John?
Hey, not too much, Rob. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. We got the whole Sabu family on, pretty much.
Yeah, hey, Mom, do you need anything from the grocery store?
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, long as you're on the line, let's get your opinion on this too. Let's talk about greed first off. Now, Sabu says that greed is when you want something and you already have it. It's like I believe he's saying it's like overindulgent to want something if you already have it. I don't know that I totally understand that. I mean, if I already have a house, if I already have money, if I already have love, but I want more and I want more of it, isn't that the goal of life to go for it and to make your life everything that you want it to be?
Well, it really depends. It depends on somebody that has everything and wants more. Well, it's a form of greed, but I think what you guys are talking about is somebody that has everything they want and they let's say they don't share it, or they don't give anything away. They don't.
I'm guilty.
They just want everything for themselves, or if they see somebody else with something that they want,
right?
Or
so
basically, they don't have, or they already have it, but they want it because the other person wants it or has it.
So basically, yeah, we could interchange this definition of greed with selfishness. It would be the exact same thing, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you this then. Do you think as long as we take care of everybody else, we can take care of ourselves to like an extreme extent, even if we want things that other people wouldn't want and may judge us by it?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so too. All right. We got a bunch of calls, and I want to let everybody through here. And these are some deep subjects, so let's just go right on to, let's go to Nikki Heyman. I know Nikki Heyman's going to have something interesting to say about power and greed. What's up, Nikki?
What's up? How you doing tonight, John Meister? SVD, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Taboo, brother and mother, hello.
Hello to you, Nikki. Say hello, Nikki. Hello, Nikki. Nikki.
Hello, Nikki.
How you doing, dear?
How you are? How are you?
Fine. I'm fine. How are you?
I think I'll make it. It's a nice chilly night out here in Columbus. Let's see.
It's beautiful in California. Hey, Nikki, if you've been listening to the monologue, I'm taking the word power and I'm dissecting it. I'm pulling it apart because you know it's all about the balance, the power, the zen. Now, having physical power, the power to be able to push a car, that's one meaning. It's like strength, but another meaning is basically just a different way of looking at that meaning. It's still strength. It's being strong, having power over somebody, having power of influence, having power of position. It's basically how people look at a pecking order lineup in society, and they look up to people as a man of power, a woman of power that has a lot of influence. But if what they can do is something that you're not after, they really don't have any power over you. What do you think about that, Nikki?
No, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. If, when somebody wants to exert their power over you, you have that option. Do you let them? Do you or do you not let them?
Yesterday Sonia and I were watching the Robert Schimmel comedy special. Hilarious. Everybody should check it out. What was that on, baby? Showtime? Yeah. On Showtime. Robert Schimmel. I think it's called, The Rest of the Story or something. Something like that. Anyway, Robert Schimmel, a very funny comedian, went through cancer, chemotherapy, and he does a routine about it. And he said a couple of things that really stuck out in my mind. But one of them that he said, was like right when he got out of chemo, he had this show. He didn't want to cancel it, so all sickly. I mean, he didn't come through as strong as Sonya on the physical end. I mean, he was like he kind of got wasted away a little bit, like a lot of the patients do, and he wasn't looking too good. He was frail. Anyway, he said he went up there on stage because he was not going to allow cancer to have that power over him, and that just really stuck out in my mind. I knew we were going to be talking about power, and I said, he gets it. You give people or scenarios the power over you. You often do have the control to give or take away power. When you surrender to it, then it has power over you, and a lot of that is inside of you. So pretty deep, huh, Nikki?
It is very, very deep. It applies also in wrestling. When you go out there and especially you, sir, when you're in the ring, tumbling about, when you're out there working, you have the power to make us cheer. You have the power to make us boo. We have that option. But when you've got 10,000 people sitting around you, it's really hard to go against the grain. You see what I mean there?
Oh, I know. I definitely see what you mean. And Sabu knows just like I do. When you're inside that ring, you feel that power. Are you kidding me? When I do something really cool, which is very often, but say I hit a beautiful rolling thunder, bam, and I go and I spin around in the ring and I take a bow and then I wait and say, okay, let me see the reaction. Everybody in the crowd just goes nuts and they're all cheering, RVD. I feel that power. I feel like, yes, I've got them in my hand. But I never lose touch with the fact that all the fans are giving me that power. It's their support. It's them pushing behind me that gives me that momentum and that power. And that's exactly what it feels like. It's exactly what it feels like. Also, with the hierarchy, if you're a wrestler, you're in the WWE, most of the guys, they'll look up to someone that's a veteran, that's been there a long time, that's higher on the pecking order as a person of power. You kidding me? You think they don't, you think they're not all like kissing Hunter's ass and trying to suck off his buddies, Heartbreak Kid and all them guys just because they think they've got power over them. They think that those guys can influence what's going to happen to I call them younger. We call them younger guys, which basically they could be older in age but younger in experience in the industry, and they are at They are, let's see, what's the right word for this? They are subject to the direction that people of a higher influence decide for them. In other words, if they end up being a joke and kissing a dog on TV, that could be the result of somebody higher abusing their power. And it could be, they could get a big push, they could get a big main event title run, and that's all by, looking at the people with power as the result of what they want to do with their power. So comparing it to wrestling is a good idea. Now let's take on greed, Nikki Heyman. I need a little help with this one. I'm afraid, and I use the word afraid just to describe let me change that word. I suspect that some of the callers may think that I'm greedy by definition. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what greed is, Sonia. You know that I often say that I'm an indulger of life. If I like something, then I get it. If I like it a lot, I get a lot of it. I spoil myself, I spoil you, and I totally believe that is not only my option and my right, but my purpose in life.
I love it. I love to be spoiled. I'm glad that's your purpose in life.
And, from the book The Secret, it definitely goes into great depth and detail explaining that everything in life should be and is attainable and should be just like at the tips of your fingers. Your thoughts become things and it materializes, and life should be enjoyed in abundance, they say in The Secret. I watched the DVD, they say they're not going to run out of shit because the universe has plenty of shit. Take your piece of the pie, and if my piece of the pie is 10 times as big as someone else's piece, then, I hate it for them, but,
You just need to dream bigger.
Exactly. That's what I think. Nikki, give us your opinion.
Let's see.
Greed.
Greed can tie into jealousy. If I were to call you greedy just because you happen to have made more money than I have. So that might be just, an indirect bit of power over me.
Okay, yes, but could anybody honestly think that they're correct in calling somebody greedy just for making more money than them, or is that something you can look at and you know that that's a flawed statement based on emotional destruct? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Obviously, out of emotion, you can say anything, but if you can't back it up with logic and you know that while you're talking about it, it's basically a throwaway statement. I think, there's a lot of people that make a lot more money than me that have power that I don't have. I may be jealous of them, but I can't really say that they're greedy and feel in my heart like they're more successful, that they're sinning, Listen, Nikki, hold the thought, enjoy the show, kick back. I'm going to go to Tim Chismar, promoter of Championship Comedy, because I know he's got limited time. It says here on the switchboard, he says he's a friend of yours. So, Tim, I got to back that up, and I got your back, Tim. You're a friend. How's it going tonight?
It is going fantastic. And you were talking about The Secret earlier, Rob. You should tell these people about what happened just before you called me tonight.
Well, and again, when things like this happen, which is 4 or 5 times easily every day, I always have people say, oh, my God, isn't that weird? Isn't that amazing? No, not in my life. It's just something that you should not let slide by, and you should definitely be aware of it. Tim Chismar earlier today received a phone call from RVD. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to buy a ticket to go see the wrestler. I said, oh, cool. What time's the movie end? Maybe you can be on the radio show. He said, well, let's see. It starts at 4:20. We had a laugh. I said, now what do you think the odds are that RVD would call you while you're getting a ticket for a 4:20 movie? That's
how the universe works.
Yes, it does. It does, and there's evidence of that all day long. So I wanted to get your opinion. You said you got a comedy show to go to, so thanks for calling in between the shows. I want to know what you thought about the movie The Wrestler tonight.
I'm eager to give you my 2 cents. I'll definitely do it. I wanted to let you know I'm standing next to one of the comedians who's going up at the Ice House tonight, John Smilowitz. So I tell you what, first I'll let him give you his 2 cents, and then I'll close it with you.
Okay, dude. Put him on.
Hey, RVD, how you doing?
I'm doing good, John. You also got Sabu on the line, and SVD's with me as well. Yeah, so we're listening to you. We want to hear your opinion about the movie you just saw.
I thought it was incredible. I mean, it's the first movie that I think makes people respect the whole sport. I mean, at one point during the movie, I just wanted to stand up and say to you guys, "Oh, so who thought this was fake? Who thinks this is fake now?" You know, and it's like the first film that I could ever say made me feel like that. I mean, it was an awesome film, pretty much.
Well, okay, first off, my jaw is on the fucking floor. I'm glad that you felt that way. I don't see how it shed a positive light on the industry towards you, because from my perspective and Sabu's perspective, getting shot in the head with a staple gun is not wrestling. They chose to tell a very disturbing, depressing story, and what they showcased was what we call garbage wrestling, you know, people that don't wrestle. And it was a good movie. I thought it was great acting. It was a great, you know, it was done very well. However, I didn't like it because I didn't like the way it made me feel. So I'm glad that you got respect for wrestling somehow out of watching it.
Well, I understand how it's dark side and it's the negative parts, but you know, to me, I definitely shows the side that it wouldn't make anyone want to be a wrestler after seeing this movie. I can understand that, but it's like, what does the America need? The kind of slap in the face that they need to know that, for the most part, these guys are professional athletes who go up there and put their bodies on the line. And this is the first movie that I felt showed that dark side and made people appreciate that you're not just.
So John, you don't think that it came across as if this guy is wasting his life chasing a pathetic, worthless dream?
Well, it was definitely like he took his life in the wrong direction, and yeah, he's in a dark place.
Okay, that's interesting to me, because a lot of people that get a positive vibe from this feel that because he took direction of his life, that alone made him a winner. They think that because he was in charge and because he chose his own destiny, that in fact made him successful, which, okay, that sounds good, but I certainly didn't. What, Sabu? Hey, Sabu and your mom, you're going to have to keep it down unless you want to be on mute. Sabu, son. Hey, you haven't seen The Wrestler yet, right, Sabu?
I haven't seen that garbage yet.
Okay, are you planning on it?
When it comes on HBO.
Okay, yeah. I would recommend it. I think people should see it. And it seems to be a conversation I have almost every day with somebody, because it's not something that people watch and just don't have any feelings about at all. It's very emotional. So, you know, thanks for sharing your opinion, John. Good luck with the comedy show tonight. You got a website or anything you want to plug?
Just check Video John out on MySpace. It's Video Jon.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to hear from Tim Chismar, so please put him on the phone.
Sure, here you go.
Tim just got out of the movie The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke, Marissa Tomei. And her tits. And her ass.
Yeah, you couldn't miss them, man. They were all over that movie. I actually thought it was called Melissa's Tits.
We both agree that was one of the better parts of the movie. What do you think, Tim?
Yes. Yeah, two good reasons to see it. But I got to say, I felt
award-winning breasts.
But John just said they were Academy Award-winning breasts. All right, John, you had your time. Shut up. All right, so I felt like it was shot in very much a horror movie feel. I felt like it was really gritty, and by him having the camera on top of Rourke as he walked around, it gave you this foreboding feeling like something could happen at any time. I don't know if you noticed that, as well. It seemed like something bad could always happen to him, and you had the audience kind of like when you go to see a horror movie and the person either walks out into the cemetery or goes into the basement or whatever, the audience is saying, don't do it. They wanted him to turn back all these different times. They didn't want him to, do what he did as far as missing the appointment with his daughter. So I got a horror movie feel from it. There's no way you can walk away from it and not have some sort of emotions toward the character. I mean, he makes you, care about what's going to happen to him, and it makes you feel bad. I know when he had the scene with his daughter by the beach, I was thinking about, some of my family members that I don't keep in touch with anymore, and I was just like, oh no, what if
Sonya got choked up at that part. She could relate to Marissa Tomei, character at some parts. Of course, not only could I relate to the Ram, but fuck, I mean, he's 100 people that I know. I mean, like, right on the fucking money. So they got the authenticity right on the money, and that was part of what was so disturbing, because they chose to show such a depressing, disturbing story. I thought it was very well done, but I was so disturbed. And you know, you knew how it was going to end before you saw it, Tim. We talked earlier, and you said that you were real curious as to how that was going to make you feel. And I didn't want to talk about it because I'm not a spoiler. But now that it happened, I wonder if you're like me. Like when it ended, it took me a half hour to identify my feelings. I knew I was disturbed. I knew I didn't feel good about it, but I was just like, wow, I mean, I was unsatisfied, I was unfulfilled, and it was, I don't know if it was just because I ate a big negative sandwich of shit and I needed to wash it down with some positive or what, but that was how I felt. What about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely shaken and a little disturbed, and we were talking about how this wasn't the best thing to do right before a comedy show, you know? You know, it's tough to get back. My comedian just said, he's like, I'm freaking depressed over here. So, you know.
Hey,
but
Officer X, man, you've been on hold for a second. Are you listening to us talk about the wrestler?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. Pretty much. I mean, you agree. You agree with what I said? Did you? Or no, you enjoyed it more. What do you think about it?
I've watched it a few times. I liked it, and I mean, it made you think. If it didn't stimulate some thinking, there was something wrong with you. But in a way, it kind of showed a negative vibe because it showed, you know, the Ram had nothing. He lived in the trailer. He was flat broke and no good relationships. And there are a lot of guys like that, but it could have been done a little more positive in the end, I thought, too.
Right, well, that wasn't what they wanted to do. Oh, my God, I got a lot of phone calls. I'm going to have to start fucking talking quick. Don't hang up, everybody. I'm going to fucking get to you in a second.
Hey, Rob, I'll help you out, brother. I'll clear up this line, dude.
Tim, do you got anything you want to plug?
What the hell do I got coming up? Just tell them to go to my MySpace. Look up Tim Chismar. I'm a cool dude. Let's have some fun. I don't know. How's that?
Yeah, Tim Chismar and RVD Productions have a huge project that hopefully
yes, we do.
Yes, very excited about something that's never been done before because we're all about being original, one of a kind. All right, thanks for calling in, Tim. Have a great night. Good luck with the comedy show.
Oh my God, another call.
Okay. All right, so Officer X, you with us for a minute?
Yeah, I'm here. I got some time.
Okay, cool. I got a bunch of calls, so I'm going to try and go through something quick. I'm going to start with Chris Whittle from New Jersey, who's been on hold for a while. If I could take him off mute. Well, I want to take him off mute. Blog Talk Radio, Nikki's not here. Oh, there we go. So, again, hey, what up, Chris Whittle?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing, Rob?
Doing fucking awesome, man. Thanks for calling into RVD Radio. Did you bring a question or a comment with you?
Question. This actually goes for Sabu as well. My question is, since you left ECW, what is your current personal opinion on the show right now?
If you're talking about myself, I don't watch the show, and that I really haven't watched much wrestling for like the last 9 or 10 years. It's kind of been my it's not my business approach, but it is one of the things that makes me different. And I haven't watched the show since I left. When I'd be on it, I'd only pretty much watch my show. I hate the direction of ECW because I love the old ECW, and they purposely want people to forget about that and want to reinvent something to start, and they want people to forget, you know, that there even was an old ECW. Sabu, are you still watching the show, ECW?
Yeah,
Sabu.
I'm here, right? Here with the garbage.
It's garbage, right?
Thanks. Because I am a original ECW fan from a long time ago, dude.
Yeah. I guess I think that if you watch Raw or SmackDown, then maybe you should enjoy ECW too, because I think it's basically kind of like the same show. So, you know, not too extreme at all. So thanks for the call, Chris, and feel free to hang on and listen to the rest of the show. I'm going to move on and try and grab some callers before they all hang up on me, starting with Mike from Iowa. What up, Mike?
Not much.
What up, Mike? How you doing, Mike?
Pretty good.
Awesome, dude. Power, dude. What do you think about power, man? Give us an example of something that you think has something or someone that has power.
Okay.
I really don't have that much of an idea about power because
you don't have it.
That's okay. It's a very deep thinking subject, you know. How about greed? How about greed? What do you think is greedy, Mike? Do you think that I'm greedy if I want to obtain a lot of things? If I'm a collector and I got to have 20 sports cars out in front of my house, does that make me greedy, or does that just make me a dream chaser?
Well, 20 sports cars, I would say dream chaser.
Okay, well, that's, what do you think, Sabu? You sound like you disagree.
No, I agree.
Okay, because I have a feeling that a lot of people would think that that's greedy. I think a lot of people feel like you should only want exactly what you need and nothing more, and that's why I call myself an indulger of life, because I love to surround myself with things that make me happy and bring positive energy.
Well, those people are haters because they can't do what you do.
I agree with that, too.
Not everybody can do what you do.
So that's for damn sure.
You're entitled to those toys.
I think so too. So I think that everybody's entitled, even if it's something that I don't want or that I don't see the value in. Like if somebody.
But something you have to work at. You have to work at it.
Right. Okay. Let's take some obvious examples of people that have a lot of shit, like Donald Trump, for instance. Okay, one of the richest men in the world. Don't you think most people think that he's greedy?
No.
I think so.
I don't.
No.
Okay. Well, good. I'm kind of surprised. I kind of thought that more people would feel different than me on that subject. You guys both agree. What about Dave from Sacramento? Welcome to RVD Radio.
What's up?
How you doing? Hi, Dave. Sound like Devon Dudley. Speaking of Devon Dudley,
Is he on here?
let me look through. Yep, there he is. Oh my God, I got a lot of calls. No, but it's like, what up, Spiz?
What's going on? Hey.
Speaking of Devon Dudley, we got Spike Dudley on the line with us.
You got him?
What happened, guys? Not too much. Just listening to your show. Fun time.
Yeah, man, we always have fun on this. We got Sabu on. Let me search the call list here. Shit, I might have Fonzie on. I got a bunch of people waiting to call in and shit. Man, Sabu, I talked to Spike yesterday on the phone, and I hadn't talked to him in, I don't know, it must have been almost a year. I didn't realize that. He was asking how we're doing. I told him Sonia was finished with chemo, and he's like, what? He had no idea what we were going through. I had no idea it had been that long since I talked to you, and it's always kind of hard to tell somebody that doesn't know, because it brings me right back to, the start of it all. But
yeah, that's freaky.
Yeah.
Freaky shit. I mean, it's weird hearing about it,
Good to hear it from you, Spike.
Yeah, what's happening, Sabu? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Cool.
Hey, man, let me go ahead and let this other caller through.
Yeah. Do you think?
No, I'm just, this is for you too, Spike. I want to give us a reunion because I got Fonzie on the line. What up, Fonz?
That's right, Daddy. Hey, Spike, Sabu. Spike, Sabu, RVD, the Indian Princess, everybody. Dr. X, Officer X, Daddy.
Yeah, Fonzie, Daddy.
Hey, beautiful.
All right, so I got
the Red Roof Inn.
Yeah. No shit. Like we're in the Red Roof Inn in Philadelphia. Which, by the way, was off of Road 420. Do you guys remember that shit?
Hell
yeah, right by the Philly airport.
Yeah, Essington. That was the shit. When I was with WWE and I'd go through Philadelphia, I would still stay there sometimes. Just for
shits and giggles, yeah.
Sweet.
What's happening,
yeah.
Hey, if you remember it, you weren't there.
Hey, Fonzie, have you seen the movie The Wrestler?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, that's cool. We were just talking about it a few minutes ago, and it's something that is always a topic for people to talk about. Every day someone's talking about it. It's making big news, which is cool. It definitely is putting interest on the industry. In other words, people are definitely interested because there's something about wrestling. It kind of makes them say, oh yeah, wrestling. But besides that, it's not a very positive look at wrestling, and I don't look at it overall as a positive thing. Great movie, great acting, well done. They told the story great. It was scary how authentic it was, but the story they took, it's not a feel-good movie though.
That's what I heard.
Can Mickey work?
Yeah, Mickey Rourke. Mickey does a lot of his own stunts too. Like he learned to do the flying head scissors and all this shit there in the movie. He's got 3 MRIs while he was filming it.
No kidding.
You know, so but whatever. I mean, you know, it's it was a very interesting story. Hey Spike.
Yo.
Let me get your opinion on today's topic. I don't know how long you've been on, if you've heard us at all, but we've been talking about power.
Right.
And we're also talking about greed. Let me ask you something. Do you think Donald Trump is a greedy man?
Yeah, I think so.
And why do you think he's greedy?
Just because nobody needs as much as he has.
So do you think that we should all only have what we need?
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Just, you know, that's his trait.
Right. No, but obviously most people think there's something wrong with being greedy. It's a bad tag, you know, it's like a flaw in a personality, and it's one of the 7 deadliest sins. I mean, God will burn you for eternity if you're greedy, but besides that, hey, that's your choice, you know.
But, I mean, seriously, I mean, okay, if you want to go back to the 7 deadly sins, then excess is a sin, but I mean, you know, that's all kind of based on, you know, myth and superstition and religion and all that stuff. If you really look at it, the only person, you know, he's not hurting anybody. If anything, he employs a gazillion people. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I just think you need to be greedy to accumulate that much stuff. I'm not sure whether it's a sin or not, but...
Right. No, yeah, that's actually well put. That's a good point. You need to be greedy in order to accumulate that much stuff. I will agree with that, too, then. And in that way, greedy doesn't sound like such a negative thing. It sounds more like you're taking care of yourself, you're chasing dreams, and you're looking to obtain a lot. That doesn't sound negative at all. And I've actually never, even up till this point in today's show, I've never thought of greed as being anything but negative.
But Donald Trump smashes the lesser guy. So that
to get what he wants. Yeah, I'm sure there's a little bit of that.
So where do we draw the line then? Like, if, for instance, let's say I'm The Rock. All right, let's say I do this action movie that I'm going to do, Wrong Side of Town, and let's say it takes off, and let's say I was a kick-ass actor, I was the next Rock, I'm making $10 million a movie, I've got fucking, 10 movies under my belt, fucking 8 that I'm signed up to do. I've got serious money now. If me and Sonya are going to go to Hollywood, and its traffic is slammed because, I don't know, it's New Year's Eve or something, and I want to rent a helicopter to take us there, and I'm spending, in that, just for the helicopter, I'm spending 3 times what normal people make in a year. Am I greedy, or am I just, am I just living up to new standards that are, in fact, appropriate for that position in life?
Well, I mean,
Can I ride in your helicopter?
Yeah, and we'll go pick up Spike and Fonzie, sure.
Right.
Yeah, Daddy.
Make those gas mask bongs.
Babu.
Babu. All right, so, hey, what was Spike, I just wanted your opinion on that. We're just talking.
I don't know. If you can afford a helicopter and it makes your life easier, then sure. I mean, who the hell cares? Who are you offending?
Still with us, Daddy?
Well,
yes.
I could think of better things to spend the money on.
Well,
okay, you could, Sabu, but let's say, and I mean, when I use that example, by the way, I am in no means The Rock. The Rock is fucking awesome, and I'm just an
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
By the way, I'm just using it as a far-fetched example. But Sabu, you could think of other things to spend the money on, but what if you have $300 million? Then what?
Okay.
Then if you spend $70,000 to get yourself up to Hollywood and back in fucking 10 minutes instead of 4 hours, and it's a tax write-off and it's business and shit, well then, the big deal of, what better could you spend it on? You didn't even notice that fucking $70,000 was in your pocket.
I don't know. You got me there, but
right, because I'm just saying, if you step out of your own box and you apply the whole circumstances of being in someone else's position, someone that does own a lot of shit, someone that every day brings in $10 million every fucking day, well, someone like that, they're going to live a lot different, and they should. If those people were like hardcore Bible-thumping Christians and they really believe that you should only strive to have what you absolutely need, well then holy shit, that'd be a lot of money for charity, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I would probably spend it on charity.
Yeah. Hey, Officer X, by the way, you're not on mute. You can speak up, my friend. Speak up.
Please. Talk, please.
I mean, the greed doesn't matter unless you're hurting other people. I mean, if you work your balls off and you make billions of dollars, take a helicopter ride, that's great. It's like Spike was saying, it employs people and other things. But I mean, as long as you're not some guy who's like selling groceries at 5 times the market rate and squeezing people, which you don't need to do, then you're not hurting anybody. It's no big deal. If it weren't in this world, nobody's going to give you shit. You got to go out and take it.
What you're talking about, Rob, it's level of relevance, though. You're saying if you can afford
nobody.
You're saying you can afford a helicopter, is it okay to do it? For some people, taking a cab might be, spending a week's worth of groceries.
Right.
So is it inappropriate for them to take a cab to go somewhere? I mean, it's all a matter of what your level is, and then it's your own moral choice whether you think it's okay to pollute the earth with your own private jet when, that's your own decision. I don't know if it's a sin or not, but it's a matter of, moral consciousness.
All right, Spike, I got one for you, okay? Check this out. I'm sitting at the blackjack table in Las Vegas. I started with fucking $500 that I laid down on the table, and I'm up like a motherfucker, man. I got $15,000 on the table, and I can grab it, and I can get up, and I can walk away.
Right.
And I'll have $15,000. That's $14,500 profit for those of you who are mathematically challenged. And I can, but I'm like, oh, should I?
Let it ride.
I'm gonna go for it. I want double or nothing. Bam! I lose my money. Was I greedy? Was I greedy, guys?
Yeah. You let it risk, and that was your choice.
I would feel like I was greedy as fuck. I would be kicking my ass if I was a gambler, saying, "Fuck, I was greedy. I should have taken the $15,000."
Yeah, but you weren't playing with your money. You were playing with your winnings. It wasn't like you lost $15,000 and can't put food on the table anymore.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that wouldn't be a factor if you were somebody that had a few extra zeros in their bank. $15,000 to you could be $150,000 to somebody else. So you can't judge somebody, I don't think, by your own personal living standards to decide if they're greedy or not. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
It's in your heart. It's in your heart. And
greedy, though, Rob, you really got to look. Is when you're taking from other people what's theirs. Like say you're splitting a pizza with someone, and the guy goes to take a leak, and you suck down
splitting pizza with someone, and I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to say that.
No. You're always getting over it being dishonest. As long as you're living within your means and you're not taking from anyone else, it's no big deal.
Yeah, but it depends where your heart is and your intentions.
I think there's it has a lot to do with that. I agree with you on that, Sabu. Michael Porter calling from right here in the beautiful Sunshine State of California. What's up tonight, Mike?
Rob Van Dam, Sonia, everybody, hello, good evening.
You got Fonzie, you got Officer X, and you got Spike Dudley on RVD Radio tonight, brother.
Spike, I was supposed to be working with you out here in Sacramento once several years ago with Rob Wilds, but you had to cancel because your wife was sick.
Yeah, I remember that. Sorry.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit. Thank you.
Bullshit. What?
Hi, Michael.
You're such a smart ass.
I thought that'd be funny.
But anyway, power and greed. I think having power is all right. But when you want more than you need, that's greed.
Okay, well listen,
comes great responsibility.
I have so many questions for you, Michael. If that is exactly where you draw the line, is more than what you need is greedy, then do you think that it's a good thing to strive to not be greedy and not have more things than you absolutely need?
Well, myself, I'm I've never been what you would call monetarily.
Do you have more than one pair of shoes?
Yeah, I got two.
Well, you only need one. Does that make you greedy?
No, I only need one at a time. I have a pair of dress shoes and I have a pair of sneakers.
Okay, Sonia, wait, say that again, Sonia.
I think I have about 40-something pairs of shoes.
Okay, Sonia's greedy when it comes to shoes.
No, that doesn't necessarily make her greedy. It's just the fact that
But
she
you're
likes a
talking
little
about bare
variety.
essentials. What do you need? What is excessive in your life? Some people can live in a tent, hunting squirrels and rabbits and never use an ounce of electricity. So to them, going out and buying a TV would be excessive living. It's all a matter of standards, what you can live with and what you think you need.
Well, that's true too. I think that if, but we're talking. I was talking about immense power.
But it's all relative. What's the difference from somebody that makes $500,000 a year but spends every one of those dollars on, clothes and excessive stuff versus a person that makes $10 million and spends all his money on yachts and boats and helicopters? It's all relative.
Yeah, I guess it's
I
all relative.
agree with Spike there, Mike. I mean, we're trying to, and I'm glad that you called in with your opinion because so far everyone seems to agree with me, and I really thought that a lot of people would come with your opinion, which I think is more widely accepted, I believe, from like a Christian point of view. I expect people to think exactly like you said, that to have more than you need, excessive living, is a greedy thing, and of course, greed is a bad thing. You don't want to be greedy, and I honestly, I can't wrap my head around that and agree with that, no matter how much I want to. Being a dream chaser, being somebody that as a kid never knew anybody famous, I loved to sit in front of the TV. I wanted to be on the TV, and, I wanted to be in movies. I've been in movies. I wanted to be a wrestler, I wanted a big house. I got a big house. I go for things that I want, and I plan on always doing that, and I feel like probably there's going to be a lot of people that think that I'm greedy, and I'm surprised so far that most of the guys don't agree. But, Michael, I'd love to hear from you. Am I greedy?
I don't think you're greedy. I probably am greedy because I don't have, a lot of the stuff that I see on television, in the movies, read about. I don't have.
How does that make you greedy?
Maybe because I'd like to try it. I'd like to see what it's like, even if it's just for a little while. But then I would probably get greedy and want more, and then want more after that. And if I achieve that, I'd want more after that.
And that's because you think you would surrender to it, and it would have the power over you, right?
There's a good possibility, yeah. Like if I was to hit the lottery. You were talking earlier about hitting the lottery for $200 million. For me, I'm the type of person I'd probably try to share it. I've got friends who have bill problems. I'd probably try to help them out. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be getting my share. Be getting my new car, my new house.
No, exactly. I mean, $200 million you could do a lot with. The thing is, like Sabu said, it's your intentions, it's what's in your heart, because we could play with that number. Let's say you won $5,000. We don't really have enough to change the world there, but you could get yourself something really nice, and maybe you'd share a little bit too. Now you could make it $500 million. Let's make it $2 billion. Whatever you put the number on, you would probably do the same thing. I think that I would. I think most people would have the same intentions with that money, regardless of what it is. Now, how much people want for themselves, I think, is where we have to determine where you draw the line on if they're greedy or not. Personally, I want a lot for me and my family, and I'm not selfish. I mean, I love to spoil Sonia, as we covered.
Yeah.
Christmas is nothing but crazy for me because we buy stuff if we want it all year long. We try to make the most out of every day. We celebrate like that. And we go for a lot, I mean, I want things that I don't need. I want several houses. I want things that are big, and I actually have like really, really big dreams. I'm a man with vision, and I could see myself, being completely successful in what I would do with that. And it's definitely, it would be stuff that certain people would look at as if I am, in fact, greedy, which makes me sound like a bad person. I know I'm not a bad person.
No, I don't think that makes you a bad person. Because myself, I would like to have what I don't have. And I will bet you any amount of money that if I were to attain that, oh, yeah, I'd be greedy. I'd want more. You know, you get a taste of it, you know, you're going to want a full meal of it.
RVD, people tend to live with, like, depending on how much money you make.
Already, Daddy. I know what you're going to say because you used to tell me this 10, 11, 12 years ago. You used to always tell me, Van Dam, people live up to what they're making. And you used to tell, I remember, see, Fonzie wasn't just an on-air personality. He was actually around the clock a manager. He would go and help us out in any way possible, with hotels, with people, with whatever, and with advice and counseling, for sure. He was around the clock, Daddy. Appreciate that. And I'll never forget, he told me people live up to the amount of money that they make. He said, and it's true, at that time, 12 years ago, I wasn't making near the money that I had been making the last several years. But you're right, I didn't have a bunch of money left over. It's just instead of renting an apartment, for $600-700 a month, I went to paying mortgage on a big house, and exactly like you said, right, Daddy?
I think it's a human nature. It's just a natural reaction. I don't care if you know what I mean. Like if the guy has 15 goats, he's he's rich and in Africa or whatever. But like Sabu says, order like you're buying and I'll pay. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, we've heard that line many, many times from Sabu. I've often said one of the, in fact, too generous motherfucker.
100% right on that one.
Yeah.
Remember,
all right,
many
so,
nights.
Michael, I'm going to go on to another call unless you got anything you want to talk about. I know we got the big interview on your website Sunday. You want to plug that?
Sure, I would love to. I'd like to invite everybody here on RVD Radio to check out Michael Porter's Wrestle Shoot this Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, when my very, very extra special guest will be Rob Van Dam himself. And you can check it out by going to www.
motherfucker!
You can say that again. Go to www.blogtalkradio.com/KMICH. I take that back. See, I'm so excited. KEYOUSOB.
RVD, motherfucker!
It's /
That's right, Daddy. That's right, Daddy.
Michael Porter's Wrestle Shoot with no apostrophe in the S. I'll type it in the chat room. But Rob, I just want to thank you so much for graciously consenting to appear on my show this Sunday. It means a lot to me, and I know my listeners are going to love hearing from you and hearing from some of your stories. So.
Awesome, man. I look forward to it, and as I tell everybody that interviews me, don't ever be afraid to ask me about anything, because I'm very unfiltered, uncensored, and if I don't want to talk about it, I got my ways of talking around it. So.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about anything because I got a mature rating, so anything goes.
Awesome. All right, Michael, appreciate that, and thanks for always calling in and tuning in. This is actually going to be the last live show that we have for a while, guys, probably till March, probably the beginning of March. Maybe we'll sneak one in at the end of February, but we're going to be taking a few weeks off. RVD will be filming the action-packed movie Wrong Side of Town. So there's still going to be a show here. Blog Talk Radio producer Nikki is going to put together some best of archives or something. Enjoy all the archives that are on there. You can see them at Blog Talk Radio or at robvandam.com. You know the deal. And we've had enough shows and enough stories on there to definitely have the best of. Moving on to another friend of mine who I haven't talked to you in quite a while before. I gave you the heads up earlier today, but John Drake from Muscle Mass Magazine, it says. Is that a magazine?
No, well, we do a newsletter, but musclemass.com is headquarters for us online.
Yeah, Muscle Mass is a supplement company, and John Drake is the owner of it. They're out of Athens, Georgia, I believe. And we've known each other for a long time, 10, 12 years?
Yeah, something like that. It's been a long time.
I don't even remember exactly when I came across you, but anyway, he's always over the years helped me out. He's always sending me supplements to help me training when I was in the ring wrestling, and now when I'm getting ready for this action movie. And, it's some good stuff. So I want to, a couple of products that I take that John has always sent me that I love. One of them is called Adaptogen, and I take Adaptogen before I go to bed at night. I've been out of that for a few weeks, John, so I'm looking forward to you sending me some, because I notice when I take it, not only do I get a better sleep, but I actually feel leaner. Like I don't know exactly what it's doing. I'm sure you can tell us, but I feel like it helps keep me leaner and like more, a little more quality muscle. I know it has a combination of, it's got what, melatonin, stimulus terrestrius, I think, and something else. John?
Well, Rob, I had a most interesting call this afternoon from a gentleman that is an adaptogen end user as well, and it sort of ties into the discussion that you guys were having earlier about power and greed and all of that. This gentleman's name is Ed McNair. He turned 69 years of age the 2nd of February. He called me up to tell me that on his birthday, and he lives out your way, he's going to hop on his bike and ride to Las Vegas to celebrate his birthday at 69 years of age.
Wow.
So,
for those of you who aren't familiar with the West Coast, it's 300, is that 300 miles? It's 300 miles from Las Vegas to and this is from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. It's not only 300 miles, it's through the mountains, it's through the desert, and this man at 69 years is getting ready to do that. So hey, we wish him all the luck, all the positive energy to 69-year-old dude.
He's just an absolute inspiration. The positive energy, a lot like you, Rob, is just overflowing. And people like that are givers. And they go around and they empower other people. And to my way of thinking, someone that lives their life that way, there's no way that greed is not even question, not at all. And those people deserve everything they have, and it should be in abundance. Gluttony is one thing, and that excess is one thing, but abundance is something else entirely. And it's not necessarily money. You can have an abundance of, just a million pleasures and joys in life. So, but I wanted to mention
hold on a second, John. I appreciate what you're saying. Explain to me where the line is drawn between greed and between abundance and between gluttony. I'd like to know what the difference is.
Well, I think it's up to the individual, and we all have to draw our own lines. And I'm sure at times in your life, and I know it's been true for me, you sort of fall, a little too far, and maybe there's something that you want for the wrong reasons, a materialistic purchase or something, and oftentimes you accomplish that. And then when you have it doesn't mean anything to you, but you thought it would, but you realize it's just part of the learning process as we grow and mature.
Okay, so that's interesting. So wanting something and obtaining it when it's something not only that I don't need, but it's also something that I don't even want. I just thought I did. Maybe I had to get it. Like for instance, maybe I wanted to get it because I didn't want someone else that really did want it to have it. Like my dog does with the bone. You can't get anywhere near her when she's chewing a bone because she's afraid you're going to take her bone. The sweetest little dog will growl like she's a big pit bull, and I think maybe she's being greedy with that bone, and it sounds like that could actually, help explain what you're talking about. Is that also gluttonous?
Well, yeah, I recall a line from an old episode of Columbo, and there was a wine, an individual, he owned this huge wine company, and he was at this auction, and a bottle of wine had been bid up to like $30,000 or something outrageous. And his secretary asked him, she said, "Is that bottle of wine really worth $32,000? And he looked at her and he said, "Well, of course not, dear." And she said, "Well, why would you pay $32,000 for this bottle of wine?" He said, "Because I don't want the other guy to have it."
Wow. I can relate to that. I remember one time, and this was forever ago, this was pre-Sonya, this girl that I was seeing at the time, I gave her so much shit for buying a $200 bottle of Dom Perignon, and this is what an asshole I was because I've grown so much since then. I wasn't even around. It was pre-Rob when she did this, I used to always use her past against her, you know, and put that in her face and judge her by that, you know, a bunch of shit that now I see other people do, and I'm like, man, I used to be ridiculous like that. But anyway, at the time, I was making like $6 an hour, I think, bouncing at a bar, and $200 it was a lot of money to me. I was also wrestling at the Sportatorium for $30 a match. And,
wow.
For some reason, I felt like it was my place to just give her shit. And I remember specifically saying, man, I don't care how much money I'd have, I'd never fucking spend $200 on one bottle of wine. Because I didn't know the difference. Boone's Farm was fucking $2.99, you know? And I didn't know the difference. But now looking back at that, I mean, oh my God, I've spent so much more than that on so much more ridiculous, you know, like less important things, stupid things. Fuck, you know, everybody knows what it's like, you know, walking out of a strip.
But at that point in your life and her life, you know, maybe you were supposed to teach her that lesson, and you know, walked away with a lesson as well. So, you know, time and place, everything.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks for calling in, Mike. Feel free to listen to the rest of the show. I'm going to move on, dude.
Mike.
All right, man. Have a great night. That was Michael Porter. Dude, it's weird because it says on the switchboard that he's muted, but he's not because we're just talking to him. I started thinking, wait, maybe I'm not talking to Mike. But, because it's John. Did you go, John? I'm retarded.
No, I'm here.
That's what I spaced out and thought that I was talking to Michael, who is on mute. Dude, I have so many callers on the switchboard, John. I'm glad you called in. In case you don't know, I've got Sabu, I've got Spike Dudley, I've got Fonzie on the line. So make sure you smarten these guys up to mass products.
Great. We're at musclemass.com. Rob, for any of your listeners, if they come over to the site and see anything they would like, when they get to the checkout order form, in the voucher section, just type in RVD20, and they get 20% off their order. Thanks to you and musclemass.com.
That's awesome. It's easy to, mass is easy to remember because it's muscle and sports science, so it's real easy. And they have all kinds of stuff over the years. They sent me protein, creatine, androstenedione, all kinds of stuff. Some of it I tried for a while, but one product I've really hung on to and really always enjoyed is the adaptogen. I really like the benefits of that. And this new one, this Creabolin, I've just been starting to take that, and that's pretty awesome too. That's not even released yet, right?
Well, it's been out for a while, but there's a new training regimen and diet that a guy named Rob Regish up in Massachusetts has come up with, and it's avant-garde stuff, but it's just phenomenal. And we've been working through trials on this for about a year at this point. And his book and course is going to be called The Blueprint. So I'll invite everyone, if you come visit the site, make sure you sign up for the newsletter, so you'll get first word of that, and it's phenomenal. And as you know, a few folks we know, Rob, have been doing the course, and it packs muscle on, and quickly, dramatically. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before. So I'm not at liberty to say too much. He owns the copyright, not I, but it's really something. So I would encourage everyone to, if you visit musclemass.com, make sure to sign up for the newsletter, and you can be a big part of that too, and definitely benefit in the gym. No two ways about it.
Awesome, John. Hey, let me ask you something real quick, because we were talking before about power, and I was saying, you know, that when you surrender to somebody, you give them the power over you by wanting something that they have. Maybe not always, but certainly a lot of times, and I would think probably most of the time. I think you can also take that power away from them if you don't want what they have. You use the word empower. You use the word that saying that for people like myself and the 69-year-old dude that's riding a bike, that we're influential and we're motivational and that we empower people. Now, that word empower would be, I guess, to actually give people power, not power over me because I'm not surrendering to them, but empowering them, I guess, by lifting them up and like filling them up with that positive energy.
Absolutely, and it all comes back tenfold. It goes and flows, and everybody benefits. It's a win-win all the way around, and that's what we try to do every day in this business and have for 17 going on 18 years. And it's just positive energy, and everyone shares in it. Everyone benefits, and everyone is uplifted. So there's no negativity involved at all, and that's what's so is really just a beautiful thing, you know, in that it's that powerful. And when you empower someone else and lift someone else up, you lift yourself up right alongside them, and you share in their joy and their success. And if their sorrow comes, you share in that as well. But you lift them up at that time as well. So, you know.
That's Officer X. Are you taking all this in?
I'm with you, bro. I got you.
Yeah, I love what he's saying, and this is like right up our alley. We're always talking about, you know, keeping your energy up, finding things that keep you in that positive state of mind so that positive things can happen to you. Something else, this other line, I wanted to share this with you specifically, Officer X. Although other people listening, feel free to grow from this. There was a line in this comedy act that Robert Schimmel did that he said somebody had said to him, and it went like this: life is not about surviving the storm, it's about learning how to dance in the rain. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
You like that, baby?
I love that.
Yeah, that really stuck out in my mind. I texted it to a few friends so I'd remember it. And not being a dancer myself, I certainly think I live in the magical life, if that's what we're talking about.
No, but I've seen Robert Schimmel do a show before. I mean, he's a cancer survivor. He's a deep thinker, too, and a real positive guy. I always find him entertaining.
Yeah, even back in the day, I followed him for a long time when he was talking about some, you know, he was kind of gross, talking to, some of his act was about taking a shit in a toilet at the airport, you know, and how it splashes up, and he went to the doctor because the doctor said, hey, did you got airport toilet water up your ass, you know, and I remember way back in the day, like, he made me laugh, but he was kind of like shocking because this was 15 years ago, and yeah, what a story he's had. He's, Sonia read his book, one of the many books that she read when she was dealing with this, and his special is airing right now on Showtime, so catch it. It's Robert Schimmel, funny fucker.
Yeah, he was on a couple of weeks ago, and he married his daughter's friend or something, so it was kind of funny listening to them all fight with each other.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know about that, but I only saw the end of it. We got TiVo set to pick it up again tomorrow. I'm moving on here to Mr. Billy D. from Mississippi, who's been on hold for a minute. How you doing tonight, Billy D?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
Is it Billy D? It's Billy D, right? It says Billy D, and I knew when I said that.
Hey, man.
I know. Blog Talk Radio producer Nikki is not in today. However, Demos is on. Demos, can we get you to talk for a second and let us know what's going on with Nikki's absence? I don't know if this is something Demos will do or not. Stepping in for Nikki to screen the calls, and he may or may not be constant. No, you've been on before, Demos. Unmute yourself and talk to us.
Hi.
Hey, dude. Thanks for stepping in for Nikki. Now, what's the deal? Is she moonlighting, doing another show tonight?
Yes, actually, there's like an emergency situation with another host, and she's trying to troubleshoot them while just another client of BTR.
But I thought RVD Radio was her favorite show all week.
It is her favorite show of the week. Unfortunately, pay comes first, so she did have to take a little dive and put pleasure aside and have to deal with work tonight. So sorry about that, Rob.
That's not being greedy. That's just business.
Ooh, way to connect.
Exactly. Nothing personal.
Okay, well, while I'm gone for the next few weeks and I won't be on the phone or on live on the internet, will you be helping Nikki to release some best of episodes or some replays or something?
I absolutely will be, and I'll be on hand to razz people in the chat room like I normally am.
Awesome. Awesome, cool. Well, you know what? If I get a chance, maybe I'll even pop up in the chat room, from live from the set of Wrong Side of Town. How cool would that be?
That would be really, really cool.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Demos.
Really appreciate it.
Demos is screening your calls tonight. He's standing by, taking the Nikki. What's that, dude?
Why don't we back away from greed and get on power for a few minutes?
Please give us some input, man. You just been sitting back all night, texting me, asking me if you're on mute. You're not on mute. You ain't saying shit, motherfucker.
No,
Officer X, our official authority on the law from the freezing northeast coast. I want to hear your opinion on power.
Power is good when there's the most important thing about power is there's got to be checks and balances with it. Absolute power is the worst stuff in the world for anybody.
You know what I love about what you just said is that's in the song that opens up the radio show. It's all about the yin and the yang, the balance, the power, the zen. Am I right?
Oh, it has to be. I mean, thank God we live in a system where there's checks and balances and everything. And in situations where there's not, it's awful. I mean, take your profession. One guy calls the shots. There's no checks, there's no balances, there's no nothing.
Right.
You know, I mean, so if a guy can play God with it, if he decides all of a sudden, if they decide they want to put Officer X over, I'm over on TV, and I could be a bum. But they could take a guy who's outstanding, and just because he doesn't drink coffee with the right guys or kiss the right ass, he's done.
Right, and so that's undeniable power. If you're talking about somebody like Vince McMahon, someone like Donald Trump, somebody of that stature, you can't deny it. That is a very, very powerful person because, not only because they have a position in life that a lot of people want, but because they can make things happen because of that situation that they're in, because of their position. That's power. That's undeniable power. Something else that's power is, like, say, being, for the most part, having a penis gives you power, physical power, over a woman, right? That's something that a lot of us take for granted, you know, but let's really look at that. If you're a female, you physically, for the most part, have to surrender your safety to the situation of you could be overtaken by most men. Not always. There's some tough bitches. There's some weak, pussy-ass men. For the most part, you know, if I'm walking down a dark alleyway, I feel pretty confident, you know, that if someone was stupid enough to come out and try and attack me, I break their face eventually after I break some other things on them. Now, if you're a lady, you always, throughout the day,
avoid dark alleyways.
Okay, yeah, I can't really say what you do, lady, as much as Sonya. She can give you first-hand perspective. Hey, we got a girl on the show! Yay! But, baby, I know that, like, all through life, every day, from when you wake up till you go to bed, you live with a perspective that you have to watch out for shit like that. You could be at the mall, and some dude could come up to you, and you have to think, if this guy tried to grab my purse, what could I do? You know, and you got to learn, like, maybe try and, you know, poke him in the eyes or kick his shin. But basically, they're not going to try and take somebody that's another guy like they will a woman. That's a given power.
Right.
That's knowledge as power.
Knowledge as power. Knowing the situation?
Well, just knowing you know, say the attack is occurring, having the knowledge through training, a course, whatever, to take care of yourself. For the lady to defend herself. How smart.
Okay, but I'm talking about, you know, just being a man or being a woman. You know, most men are going to be able to physically overtake most women. You don't hear too many Officer X. How many times do you arrest a woman for raping the guy?
That's powerful, not power.
Never.
Power.
You know what it is? That's like the law of the jungle. The biggest and the strong survive. But women have over guys, and we've had this conversation before.
There's no stronger power in the universe than the power of the pussy. You're right about that.
Absolutely none. I mean, look at the crazy shit guys do over chicks.
For sure. There's no question about that. And that's a different kind of. It is the same kind of power because it's leverage, it's influence, it's being able to make things happen, and that's, I think, a good way to describe power.
No, absolutely. I mean, I can think of guys I know that have thrown their lives away over garbage women for absolutely nothing. Usually they're like guys competing for the slob, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Billy B, have we talked to you yet? I know we said hello to you, but have you been able to input on our topics?
Power. It's bad to say because how can you put yourself in somebody else's position to say that person has more power to, do you know what I mean? You talk about crossing these lines and whatnot. What if I'm the president and I have to press a button and kill 1 million people? Because I know
a lot of power.
Exactly.
You know, I feel a lot of times, and I bring this up, you know, sometimes. Don't think I'm, you know, I would never do this, but if I walk in an elevator and there's just like, say, like a little frail old lady there, and the elevator door is shut, I feel my sense of power, and it's actually something that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I'm just knowing, like, oh my God, you know, look at this. I mean, this little old lady, if I wasn't a good person, if I was one of those crazy people that would beat her up or kill her and grab her purse or rape her or whatever, thoughts like that, things that I would never do, but I would have the power to be able to do that undeniably, you know, unless she's got a gun, which is a whole other topic, by the way. But I feel that. I feel sometimes like if someone's holding a baby and I walk by it, you know, I feel like if I bumped into them and knocked that baby out of their hand or something, the baby landed on its head, the power that I have to change that kid's whole life. It may never have a normal life. And sometimes having that kind of power scares me a little bit. Like I know that I would never act upon it, but the thoughts that go through my head, the ridiculous thoughts that go through that you rule out and somehow categorize and think, oh my God, I'll have to write about that or something. That's just really weird. Sometimes that power is frightening to me. It's kind of like being a bull in a China store. You know, you walk in there, a lot of times you're like, oh shit, I can't bump anything, I don't want to break anything. You're uncomfortable with the fact that you've got that much power. And everybody's silent, I'm freaking them out. Officer X, get ready to take the statement. If anybody complains about being attacked in an elevator, I guess you heard it here first.
Some people can't handle that power, RVD. Like the jails are full of them. People fuck up and make one mistake. And you said put yourself in an elevator with the old lady, and you might think it's you just think about it. And naturally, you're not going to do it, but some people just snap. That's why these people are killing kids and raping people. They just can't handle life, and it's a pretty complex system in the world we live in. So, you know, a lot of rules and don't do's and do this and laws and different cultures and religions. We're living in a real high-tech world now, too, upon all the other shit, you know, besides religion and life and all that shit. It's a tough spot to be in. So naturally, we all think of shit like that, you know, but we see it every day in the newspaper, every day in the radio, every day in the news. Watch court TV. It's every day somebody fucks up, you know?
Yeah, but you know what always stresses the bad stuff? For every one psycho out there, there's 10,000 good people. You know,
exactly.
And they don't get the cover of the Times or whatever, the YouTube videos, you know, but I believe society in general is good. Just with this instant access, you know, it sells papers and it gets ratings to see the wackos. But I think that's a very small percentage of society.
Yeah, it is a small percentage. There's like 300 million people in the U.S., and there's only like 3 million people in jail. I think that's a kind of pretty close to it. So that's not even the 1%.
You can't equate jail with being a bad person, though, because as you say, that the legal system's so fucked up. There's people that are in jail that shouldn't be in jail. You know,
there's probably a few people that aren't guilty, but not a lot of them. A lot of them in jail, you know, deserve to be there because they killed somebody. But
violent stuff, yeah.
Hey guys, listen, all the criminals I've met in my life, right? I've been doing this a long time. I'd say maybe 10%, if that, are stone criminals. The rest are alcoholics and drug addicts.
Right.
You know,
that's not being bad.
Our prisons are overwhelmed with substance abusers. You know, there's very few Charles Mansons out there. There's just guys that have too many drinks and maybe crash a car or whatever they do, you know?
Thank God, because there's more and more than there used to be. I mean, when I watch America's Most Wanted on Saturday nights, or later, because I have it on TiVo, because I'm an adult. I don't know if that's greedy or not, watching it when I want to. But anyway, I am shocked always that there's so many people like that. To me, it seems like every individual case of somebody that kills his 2 daughters in the backseat of his car or shoots his girlfriend in the head and then burns the place. I think every single little case like that should be like historical. Like it's so like, oh my God, that should go down in history like the Charles Manson murders. But it seems to me like it's more and more common. Like it's just another case.
That shit goes on all the time. That shit goes on all the time because you know what you're looking at now that they didn't have before. Now there's crack babies. There's a lot more fetal alcohol babies. There's, the family structure is completely destroyed in the country, and people just aren't accountable for their own shit. And there's too much information for people. Kids can go on the computer now and figure out how to make explosives and gas and all this other shit, and there's no respect.
Yeah, well, I don't know
for themselves for anything.
I don't know if violent crime has increased as much as we're just more aware to every little incident that happens. As you say, the instant access to information that gets broadcast instantly when somebody, you know, throws puppies out the door or, you know, stabs their grandmother. You know, I'm sure that shit happened in the 60s and the 50s, the 40s. It just wasn't publicized.
Well, media is so much more vast, and the mantra they have is it bleeds, it leads. So when that's the only thing you're seeing on the evening news or 2020 or whatever the case may be, it just makes it seem all the more pronounced. So agreed, absolutely.
But I'll tell you what, though, the best way to keep your thoughts negative is to load up on newspapers and the news. It'll fuck you up.
I don't watch it much at all. I'm an old media guy. I just don't watch it much at all. It's too negative. It's not empowering, you know, to put that back out there. It's just not.
That's right, Daddy.
Yeah, for
Watching
sure.
the news will take your energy.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
All right. Hey, listen, I remember talking to this Cameron. I remember saying, hey, Michigan or whatever. Did we talk to? Wait, did I lose her? I lost Cameron Smith. I was just going to go there. All right. Anyway, fuck, what a show, man. I've never had so many callers on there, so I'm going to move on. We've only got, 20, 25 minutes left. Moving right on to, Bruce Brooks from Baltimore. Baby, what are you doing? You're trying to get my attention.
No, I was just, never mind.
Hey, Bruce Brooks from Baltimore, Triple B, what's going on?
What's up, man? Glad to hear you, man.
Happy RVD Radio, dude. We got Fonzie, we got Sabu, we got Spike Dudley, we got John Drake from Muscle and Sports Science, we got Officer X. Say hello to everybody tonight, Bruce.
Yeah, you got Spike Dudley, huh? Yeah, man. Greed is something that, you know, in some people's situation, it could kill you and overtake you, you know, because, you know, you have enough that you want more, you know.
Sure. Give me an example of a situation where it could kill you.
Well, let's say you got some guys robbing the bank, you know, 3 or 4 guys robbing the bank, and, you know, they got like 10 million maybe, you know, and, they hear the cops coming and they leave, but, you know, one guy goes back in there, you know, and before you know it, you know, the cops get him, breaks in, you know, and, you know, kills him, you know. If he was just left, maybe he would have got away.
The cause of death would be bullet wound, not greed, but yeah, that's a good example. It's a lot like the example I said where you're gambling at the poker table. It is something where you go too far, and in retrospect, you're going to say, you know, I was a little greedy. I shouldn't have gone quite that far. I would have been all right, you know. But when you go for it, I mean, go for it. Hell, that's put in our brains all our lives. We're taught, you know, go for it. Just Nike says, just do it. So when you're sitting there at that intersection where you got to make up your mind and say, should I go for it or not? Bam! Society has told you all along, motherfucker, go for it now, do it. So you can't really fault somebody for going for it, can you?
Right. No, you can't. You really can't, because you only live once. And somebody says something about, you know, greed, you know, it depends on how the individual look at themselves, because everybody has their own, you know, opinion about it, you know. But yeah, man. Hey, look, I got a question for you.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Are you done wrestling? When did you come back to wrestling?
Well, you know what? I'm wrestling selectively. I take very select choice international bookings right now. Last year, I went to Portugal, went to Spain 3 or 4 times. I went to Japan. I'm going to be going to France in March when we're done with this action movie. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking a break from the full-time schedule of being a WWE sheep and roaming with the cattle from town to town to town, and I'm just doing it like a rock star now, VIP style, man, flying me and my wife business class, money in the bank first, and it's been really working out well for me that way. I don't know, Bruce, if I will return to full-time wrestling. It's something that I don't see me doing in 2009, you know, unless something changes, which life is full of changes, but as of now, I would say that 2009, I'm still going to be enjoying life away from living on the road in a hotel.
Okay, that sounds good, man. If you don't mind, I want to give a shout out to my business. I'm a radio host as well on Blog Talk Radio. So what now?
Go ahead.
Okay, my website is blogtalkradio.com/Bruce, man. I'm a network marketing consultant. What's up? Who was that? Spike Dudley?
That wasn't me.
That wasn't me.
Hey, look, I'm a network marketing consultant, man. I got people like start their own online business, you know.
RVD,
Yeah.
motherfucker!
What's up, man? What's up?
We're having problems with the switchboard here. I don't know what's going on, dude. I think I got so many calls, the timing's off. Hit a button and it comes on 2 minutes later. Let's see.
I thought somebody didn't like me or something.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit. Thank you.
All right, that's great. No, dude, cool, man.
I like Joe Pesci.
The website, man, and have a great night. Thanks for calling in. I got a bunch of callers, and
okay.
Thanks for sharing that input, too. Appreciate it.
For sure, man. All right, bye-bye.
Awesome, dude. That was Bruce, and now I'm trying to hang up. I want to hang up. Dude, I think I have so many calls that the fucking switchboard is used up. And
now, does that mean you're greedy because you're getting so many calls?
I'm not sure. I'm going to ask Mr. Tapass, who's on the line now. Mr. Tapass, am I greedy for having calls?
I stole the fucking dope, and I just come to pass it round, you know?
Say that again? We missed it.
I stole the fucking dope, and I just come to pass it round.
Oh, man.
I was actually thinking while I was on hold. I was thinking, is it greed or power to own the WWE title and the ECW title at the same time?
Gotta tell you that fucking word. These are whites, huh? White cocksucker.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, let me go with the short version.
Who stole the fucking dope?
Yeah, that's it.
You're saying you stole the dope, right?
I stole it. I just come to pass it round.
Sonya stole it. What the fuck?
I'm going to steal it back.
She put it in one of her 42 pairs of shoes.
Oh.
Hang on, come on, please.
Who stole the fucking dope?
Yeah, I did.
RVD, motherfucker.
Right, man. We got... Oh, dude. All right, so Mr. Tampass, before I rudely interrupted you, what were you trying to say, bro?
I was just thinking, is it greed or power to own both the ECW and the WWE title at the same time?
Ooh, that's definitely power, right? That's power.
Or is that just awesomeness?
You know, I think that's worth thinking about, because I think owning both belts you can't call greed because it's something you have to fight to do. But both belts, maybe wanting both belts might be considered greedy.
Well, I think the greatest power is willpower. I mean, when you were trying to get where you wanted to be, was there ever a time you thought, I don't know if I'm going to make it?
Well, definitely early in my career. I remember way back in 19... Hey, Officer X, is that your scanner going off?
Yeah, let me turn it down.
Nice. Everybody in Massachusetts, feel safe. Your neighborhoods are safe. At least they will be when RVD Radio is over.
Hey, I'm the only one to
on your best behavior for the next 15, 20 minutes, Massachusetts.
Oh, my God, huh? It's not easy.
Hey, but Rob, you there?
I am, dude.
Yeah, quick question. I was looking up Black Mask 2, and I actually noticed that, so you got to work alongside Tobin Bell, the guy that played Jigsaw from the Saw movies. I'm like so jealous.
Yeah, that is correct. He was one of the well-established actors. He played the main bad guy on the set. Also
is
in
he
Black
just as
Mask...
creepy in real life?
Yes.
Because he seems a creepy guy. Apparently he was in the movie Goodfellas as well. He played like a parole officer.
I don't remember that. I'll take your word for it. Huh.
I looked it up on the Internet Movie Database. But anyway, you all the best for the future, yeah?
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for the call.
Okay.
Here goes Mr. Tapass. Let me let Neil Kaplan through. Neil, what's up, brother?
Neil. Hey, brother, how are you? Well, you know something, brother Neil? We're doing excellent.
Good on, man.
Hey, man, Neil Kaplan is on the line, who is my voice guy that does this.
You are listening to RVD Radio.
Wow, and then he also does this one. Do it. Say it. Dude, my switchboard sucks. I'm talking to my switchboard, not you personally.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
All right. Hey, so Neil, what's going on today, bro?
Nothing much. Just doing a little bit of work. Was working on some anime this evening. Sorry that I missed most of the show.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can catch it on the archives like thousands and thousands of other people. I've been getting a lot of feedback lately from people telling me that they've been listening to the archives, listening to all the old shows, and that they've really enjoyed this. So that's cool. Lots of positive energy going into today's show, which is the last live show for a while. Neil, thanks for calling in. I won't be doing the show live for at least a month. I'm going to be busy doing other things. Officer X just texted me, phone at gas station died, call back in. That's great. He goes to the gas station and says, I need to use your phone. That's awesome. That's awesome. Neil, we've been talking about power, and we've been talking about greed. Those are a couple of our topics tonight. I'd like to get your opinion on it because you, sir, are a very wise man. I'd like to hear what you have to say about greed, first off, because that one confuses me. I thought greed was just a bad thing. It was just a sin, and if someone said that you were greedy, I just thought that was a bad thing, you know, and that you should strive to not be greedy. Through tonight's calls, I'm starting to think that maybe greed could be a good thing. It could be a strive. It could be something that helps you chase your dreams.
No.
It's a bad thing?
There's a difference between drive and greed. You know, the Gordon Gekko line from the 80s basically led us to the collapse that we're in the middle of right now. Greed is good. The idea that the person at the top or the corporate earnings are more important than the corporation itself. Stability was not as important as paying off the dividends to the investor. With you wanting to have two belts, that's not greedy because you're not talking about belts that are available to the general public. You're talking about by the time that people have worked their way into the competition of being able to achieve those belts, the number of people that are involved is so small, it's not greed. I mean, you can use it in a very loose sense. I guess you were greedy because you didn't want to quote-unquote share. But, I mean, that's the idea of being in competitive sports. Okay,
Neil, let me put a different scenario on it. Let's say I want to own a big castle up in the Hollywood Hills, and I want that to be one of 5 houses that I'll have in the Los Angeles area. Two of them on the beach, one probably up in Malibu, and one maybe down in Newport. Maybe a house in Beverly Hills, and keep the house down here in the South Bay. Is that greedy?
Sure.
Okay, now is that a bad thing though? Is that a bad thing, or is that just a quality that I have because I want a lot?
Well, first of all, you know, it's a bad thing, quote unquote, if it's really a matter of screw anybody else, fuck anybody else. I mean, if you're doing it through honest hard work, I mean, you've earned that, and that's certainly your right to buy that. You're not excluding anybody, so I don't consider that, you know, necessarily greedy. Now, on the other hand, if it's a matter of you never do any volunteer work for your community, you don't ever care about making your neighborhood a better place to live, you don't donate any money to charities, and you're living your life me, I, that is greed. And quite frankly, it's one of the reasons we're in the mess we're in right now.
Right, for sure. Let me ask you this. Hugh Hefner has a house that is, I think, owned by Heaven. Beautiful fucking house. You know the deal. He's surrounded by the Playboy bunnies. I don't think he hurt anybody, and at the same time, he donates a lot of money to charity. He helped Hollywood sign Remain when they wanted to take it down. Is he greedy?
No, Rob, because you said it right there. He shares with his community. You don't have to necessarily give your community an equal share. You don't have to give them 50%. It's not like tithing to your church. But yes, he supports making the world a better place, and he does open up his wonderful home with his scantily clad, gorgeous women. He opens that up. He's not greedy. He doesn't shut the gates and say, "Mine! Fuck you! Mine!" He doesn't do that. He goes, "Come, marvel at my humanity." Ha 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 ha.
Okay, so like Sabu had said, it's what's in your heart. It's your intention, maybe, that makes you greedy or not, or is it actually?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's not necessarily what you desire, because if you desire something that I have, then I think I have power over you from a certain perspective. You look at me as someone with power because I'm in a position that you want, or I own things you want. From a certain perspective, I think that's power. However, if it's something you don't want, for instance, the guy that has 200 acres out in the country and he lives in a log cabin, he's got all the power in the world from his perspective because he loves that lifestyle. But for me, hell no, I'm not going to be stuck out there with mosquito spray and no tanning beds. So for me, that guy's got like nothing that I want. To him, he's powerful. To me, he's not.
Sure, absolutely. That's like, when the Mafia Don has nothing that you want and you don't live in his neighborhood, he technically has no quote-unquote power over you.
Yeah, I've often said, I think value can directly be measured by how much it's worth to you, and nothing else, nothing less. That's the value of anything, is how much it's worth to somebody. Harry Slash, jump in here, brother, because we're running out of time, and we haven't even said hello to you all the way over in New York yet today.
Hey, Harry.
Harry.
Hey. What's up, Harry?
Harry Slash, I got you off of mute, motherfucker. Don't act like you're on mute. Now you're mute. Now you're on mute. Say something, or I'll be offended.
Come on, Harry.
All right, well, I don't know. The reason
Harry.
I unmuted Harry, maybe I got too many calls. The reason I unmuted Harry is because he texted me this message. It says, wanting your own castle is ambition. Wanting all castles is greed.
Hey, Rob.
Yes.
Hey, Rob.
Yes.
Here's a question for you, because tomorrow the Oscar nominations come out, and the last time I saw you was at the screening of The Wrestler.
Right. I was, and of course they've got the global awards since then. A lot of people are really, really interested in this movie and taken by it, which is good. I think as far as a movie goes, it's a good movie. It's a damn good movie. It did what it wanted to do. It told the story that it wanted to tell in a very sound way with solid acting, and it was very effective. However, I don't like the way the movie made me feel. I was like unfulfilled. It took me a little while to identify my own feelings, which were basically I was disturbed by the story that they told. And I don't think it's going to do anything positive for wrestling, but I'm not sure. I hear other perspectives where they look at it totally different, I think, I don't know, I think it was a good movie. What do you think, Neil?
I think it was a great movie, but the two ways to look at it, Rob, one is the people who've been sitting in the stands since the dawn of time and want the gladiator to fight to their death for their own entertainment. So to them, it's great. You, on the other hand, have been the gladiator. So for you, it's a completely different movie than it is for me or for anybody else, okay? And the reason why, to me, that it's disturbing to you is that his life outside the ring was hollow. Your life outside the ring is friggin' awesome.
Right. I get that, but of course I can relate to him at certain times, even if I'm thinking of back when I was younger, whatever. One thing that I thought was disturbing was I feel like the message that comes across is one that says, look how pathetic this guy is that totally wasted his life on a silly, ridiculous, meaningless dream. And that was not the message I think that everybody's getting from it, but that was one that I thought it was putting out there.
I just had a very... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say really quickly, if I can address that one on two different levels. One is I have friends from high school who look at me and think I'm still pursuing my dream, and they look up to me. It doesn't matter that, sometimes times are really tough. So there are people who look at the Ram, and he's still living it. He hasn't given it up, and it really is. And then there are other people who look at it like the Springsteen Glory Days song. How's that? It's all in the perspective,
Yeah. Officer X, you saw the movie. John Drake, you said you did not. Is that correct?
Tomorrow night. I had an interesting thought, though, and I recalled an old ECW show, and it wasn't all that, a year or so after we had met, Rob. And I'm sitting there in the stands with some buddies of mine, and you guys are just working your asses off and literally killing yourselves to entertain this crowd, and they're just screaming for more. And Sabu is just out there dazzling the crowd. And that more. They're screaming more. And everybody's blading. It's just you guys were killing yourselves literally to entertain the crowd, but they just continually scream for more. And I remember looking around thinking, these fans are a bunch of greedy motherfuckers. So,
yeah, that's very well put too. Very well put. And they are. The ECW fans, the fans were so spoiled in ECW that if the match was only like so-so, they would chant, end this match, or take it home, or you guys suck.
Oh, yeah.
You fucked up. And yeah, they were so spoiled, and yeah, they were greedy. They wanted you to bring the moon with you. That's a good example. We've only got like 5 minutes left in the show, so let me real quick try and go through the phone lines and see.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
That's an example right there of greed. Okay.
What's that?
It's like I used to say with Barry Bonds. If there are 1,000 people who are screaming for his autograph, if he walks through and doesn't sign for anybody, he's got 1,000 disappointed people. If he signs for 500, you know what he'd have? 500 pissed off people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody sits there and goes, hey, Rob, thanks for signing for the 20 people you signed for. I know you didn't get to me, but I appreciate that you took the time. Okay, thanks for your blood. Thanks for your sweat, but you didn't do the triple loop flop that I wanted to see.
That exact scenario happened in the back of the arena in Italy, and the fans rioted because not everybody could get an autograph. They're throwing bottles over the fence and shit. It was really rough, and I'll never forget that. They're very physical. Yeah. I'm going to go to Benji High Point real quick. Hey, Benji High Point, you're on RVD Radio, dude. Are you with us?
Yeah,
no?
I'm about to leave, but thank you so much.
Are you out of here, Neil?
No, just yelling at a neighbor, sorry.
Oh, okay. I don't think Benji's talking to us anyway.
Hey, Rob, you still there?
I'm still here.
Hey, Spike still on?
Yep.
Hey, Spike.
Yep.
Hey, Jay, I don't know if you remember. I was working a show you were on, right? Remember the fat kid had the Hulk Hogan life-size tattoo on his back?
Not really. Sorry.
Size Hogan tattoo. It was actually like 6'8".
Listen, Spike. I was working the back, right? I got you hooked up with the pizza shop. I was the cop working at that show. Don't say where it was.
I don't care.
Well, no, whatever. But I'll tell you what, though. There's power, Rob. This poor guy called into a radio show, and the guy talked him into getting a life-size Hulk Hogan tattoo on his back.
Oh, my God. He did it for a radio show contest?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. The guy at Hogan's, he was kind of a fat kid, had Hogan's thing tattooed the whole side of his back.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy, though.
That's a lifelong decision there, isn't it?
The kid seemed like a nice kid, too, but I mean, God, that's an awful lot of power getting that on your back.
Yeah, but if the kid loses weight, it looks like Hogan's off steroids.
It's like this chick I met once, and she had the Looney Tunes from like head to toe, and I'm like, damn, girl. I'm like, why'd you do that? She's like, I like Looney Tunes. So,
Hey, Sabu, you remember at that ECW reunion one night stand, that first pay-per-view we did, that guy that had the Sabu and Rob Van Dam tattoos?
Yes.
He had him on his legs. I think he had Sabu on one leg and Rob Van Dam on the other one. And it was like in detail, like full color. It was me with my tiger striped outfit on. It was fucking, whoa.
Weird.
Yeah, it was creepy. That's some creepy shit.
You know what's worse is Sandman's tattoo of himself on his own arm.
Yeah, that's more creepy. I don't think it's so creepy because I understand that not only am I a real person with real thoughts that you guys are talking to right now, but also Rob Van Dam is an image, like a symbol. Like people that don't know me, I stand for something, and I appreciate that. I mean, I worked hard to maintain my integrity so that I would stand for something very that's important to me. So that's okay. Get an RVD tattoo. It's cool, man. It's just like a Bruce Lee tattoo. All the kids are doing it, man. Line up.
But the key is you work for it.
Hey, yeah. Awesome. Well, so Neil, did you say it's the Academy Awards tomorrow?
The nominations come out, yeah.
What are your expectations for the wrestler?
I think we'll see Aaron Oski get a nomination, and same thing with Mickey Rourke. But, wow, I loved what Frank Langella did in Frost Nixon.
Okay, well, we didn't see that one yet. We're running out of time here. The show is over. Got to say goodbye to everybody. You got anything you want to plug, Neil?
You're on the last
Optimus.
nerve.
They should check out Optimus, and, of course, my graphic novel, Eye of the Wolf, which is due out later this year.
Awesome. We'll have you back on the show when I come back. Sabu, your mom and brother, thanks for calling in. Oh, just got through. We just got through to Dave. Hey, Dave.
Hey.
Dave Defalco from Wrong Side of Town calling in with 15 seconds left of the show.
Man, screen that call. Screen that call.
Appreciate the call, but we don't have time to talk about it this week. But thanks, Spike. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, Fonzie. Sneeze.
Later, brothers.
Officer X, everybody.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Oh, man, that one was on.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show!
Hey, man.
Drop that down!